Good afternoon, students. My name is Mr. Ackerman.
And I'm Mr. Reynolds. Today is day 3 of our Lifetime Fitness lesson. Today we'll be doing circuit training. We're going to take you through 7 different stations. We're going to show you critical elements of it as well as adaptations. We're going to be at these stations for 2 minutes each, and we're going to have a 30-second resting period each time. It's important to pay attention to technique during this video. We want to really make sure we hammer down how to properly lift so none of us are getting injured.
So we have Mr. Reynolds here who will be demonstrating this lift for you.
Okay, first thing we're going to check is our shoulder, or our feet shoulder width apart. That's the first thing we want to look at. We're going to step up to the bar here, and feet are shoulder width. I'm going to bend down slightly.
All right, hold on. What are you forgetting?
Oh, the clips, right. We're not going to lift without our clips on, right?
Yep.
So, before we get started, we're going to take the clip here, slide it on the bar, make sure it's nice and tight up against the weight. Snap that bad boy on. Then we'll come to the other side. Make sure it's nice and snug. You don't want your weight sloshing around. Those are in tight. And now we can begin, right? Okay, so again, feet shoulder width apart. We're gonna bend down. We're not gonna stay straight legged the whole time. We want a little bend in our knees. That'll put way too much strain on your back as you're trying to pull these up. So get in a nice little bent knee position. Get a nice grip on the bar. We're gonna look straight down, chin tucked, and we're gonna pull up. Go back down, drop it. You can reset your feet a little bit. Pull up, drop it, pull up, drop it. We're going to do this 5 times, and then you rotate with your group or whoever's in your group, your partner, or if there's more than 2 people, just be sure to do it somewhat fast. You don't want to rush through these things. You got to have proper technique. Just be sure to keep your clips on, as we showed, and keep proper technique, and you shouldn't get hurt doing this. If weight is an issue, if it's too heavy, you can just do the bar. There's no issue with that. I did these, which is considered light for me, but I've been doing this for a long time. So don't be afraid to take weight off. And yeah, that's it for deadlifts. We'll move to the next station, which is bench press.
Station number 2, we have Mr. Reynolds here as a demonstrator again. This is the bench press.
Right, okay. So the bench press, one of the things we talked about in safety, make sure your area is clear of any hazards. If you can't tell, these bands down here, they're a hazard. When you're going to get weight, you don't want to trip over them. You can fall right into the wall, or there's a lot of sharp edges. Like if you hit this bar with your forehead, it's going to crack open. So they're tied on. We can't take them off for school reasons, but what we'll do is we'll just tuck them back here. Keep them out of the way. Make sure that there are no tripping hazards around our area. And then, now I'm going to show you how to properly put on weight. So, we have these 35-pound plates here. I'm going to grab one, slide it on. You never want to keep adding plates until you've added more to the other side.
Why is that?
Because if you load up one side too heavy, what's going to happen? Bar's going to tip over, weight slides off onto your foot. That does not feel good. If you've ever been hit in the foot by anything, it doesn't feel good. So make sure to keep your weight even. If you're going to keep adding weight, add 1 plate at a time. You can use your partner to help you so it goes quickly. But for time's sake, and since we don't have more than 2 people, I'm just going to do 35s. I'm going to make sure to put these clips on. Make sure they're snug up against the weight, clamped on tight. That's not going anywhere. Come around to the other side. Slide that on. Boom. All right, just like that. And now what I'm going to do, make sure the bench is at a comfortable position for me. And then I'm going to sit down. Feet are flat on the ground. We're going to lean back. Get a nice grip on our handles here. I like to put my thumbs at the end of the grip, then squeeze from there. That's a nice little space in between the grip spots. And then I'm just going to pick it up, And what I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna bounce the weight off my chest. I know a lot of people like to do that. So you just nice and controlled down, come up. Controlled down, come up. I don't wanna see any of this. I don't wanna see that. You can hurt yourself doing that. Repeated blows to your chest will leave bruises, and you can bruise something internally, which is never good. So nice and controlled down, come back up. If you can't do that, that usually means you have too much weight on. Take the weight off. It is totally fine to do that. And in just a second here, Matt's gonna show you how we modify this for those of you who can't use the bar. If the bar's too heavy, if you have a shoulder injury like he does, we have another activity for you using a bench. You still get the range of motion, and it's just a little bit different. We're using dumbbells instead. So now we'll show you the modified version of bench.
As you saw Mr. Reynolds perform the bench with a straight bar with barbells on that. Like he said, I can't do that. I recently had a shoulder surgery, so I'm going to go with a much lighter option, which will be the dumbbells. I have a whopping 5 pounds here. I want to make sure there is nothing in my way. I want to make sure I remove the bench from the rack, so I have no safety bars in my way. I want to put the dumbbells securely in my grip, put them on my knees, and as I sit down, I want to make sure my feet are planted like Mr. Reynolds says. Keep a good posture as you come down. You can rock the weights back, and then when you're here, you want to transition, and what you will do to replicate the bench press is you will press up, and you do not have to click the weights together because that could make you unstable. You just want to control them nice and slow down, and then press them up. All under control. There's no reason to go super crazy fast, because with speed, you will lose control. You want to just make sure to control the reps. As you can see, my elbows aren't flaring far. They're staying nice and in, making that little 90, pressing up, and coming together. And then when you're done, you want to make sure to turn your weights, rock your knees up, come up, make sure they're there, and properly set them down. And that is how you do an adaptation to the bench press.
All right, how many reps should we make them do, Matt? What do you think?
So, just depending on how much weight you want to do, we want to stay in a comfortable range. So 8 to 12 reps is plenty of weight to do, plenty of reps to do with a moderate weight.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Reynolds, I showed an adaptation using the dumbbells, and you showed us how to correctly bench with a straight bar.
Right.
But why do we do it, and what muscle groups does it work?
We do this to really focus on our explosive power in our arms. So what this really works is our triceps back here. This is the main lift, or the main reason for the lift is to strengthen your triceps, but it also really affects your pectoral muscles in your chest. It works your core a lot too because you want to stay balanced. Again, we're not lifting our back off. The more you lift your back off, the more strain it is in your lower back. It's really not healthy for you, and over time it wears down. You might get away with it now, but I promise you it'll start hurting. Just make sure you keep your back flat and engage your core. You're going to be pushing with your pectorals, your triceps, as well. It works your forearms pretty good too. Just be sure to engage that core to really get that last burst of energy out. Sometimes when you're on your last set, you tend to struggle a little bit, and that's okay. Struggling is fine. It helps build those muscles up, so the next time they won't be so bad. But yeah, it's a strong upper body workout as well as your core.
All right, transitioning from the bench press, we'll move on to the bicep curl. So we have 2 weights here, 15 pounds, a nice moderate weight, nothing too crazy. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you have room around you, so you're not going to hit anything. Look pretty good for a bicep curl. I'm not going to be freaking out. I'm not going to be swinging, so I'm just going to be stationary. So what you want to do is you want to get your feet in a nice stance, just comfortable, nothing crazy. Don't need wide, don't need to be really short, just nice and shoulder width apart. So what you'll do is you'll go down, you will grab the weight in a proper manner, supinated grip. So what we want to do is we want to make sure our shoulders are rolled back, our core is tight, and what you're going to do is you're going to curl up, control it down, curl up, and control it down. Now we're going to alternate, like we said in yesterday's video, just because it'll make the exercise a lot more beneficial because it'll take longer to fatigue. This works your bicep muscle as well as your forearm muscles, which are beneficial in gripping things such as the bench press, such as the deadlift, and any other exercises where you're using that grip.
And is it okay if you're struggling with it to like really swing your back into it to help you get the weight up?
No, Mr. Reynolds, we do not want to struggle with bicep curls. Your bicep is a small muscle. Even if you think you have really big biceps, they're still a small muscle compared to your legs or anything else that's a large muscle in your body. So we want to make sure we're doing controlled movements with lighter weight. We don't need to go heavy.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're at our fourth station, and this is going to be the tricep kickbacks. Matt kind of showed you these yesterday, so what I'm going to do here, I don't have very much weight. I want to get a nice workout. I don't want to hurt myself while doing it, so I'm going to do something I know I'm comfortable doing. I've got 10-pound weights here. I only need one for the time being. I don't have anything to lean against, so what I'm going to do is what he showed you yesterday. Put my hand on my chest, and I'm going to bend over at the waist, and then we're going to curl it up like this, and make sure you lock your elbow out. See how I'm locking my elbow out? That gives you the full range of motion. Lock it out, curl back up all the way, let the weight touch your shoulder, lock it out, coming back up, and again, lock it out. Okay, now this exercise is gonna work your triceps really hard. This is gonna explode your bench press up dramatically if you really pay attention to these. It also engages your core. That's why you put your hand on your stomach so that you have a balance. When you bend over at the waist, that's when you engage it. And then when you lock out your elbow, you can really feel that burn in there because the weight's trying to pull you backwards. Don't let it pull you backwards. If it is, you got way too much weight. You need to go down in weight. 10 pounds shouldn't be too bad for some of you. If you want to go to 5, even if you have 2.5-pound dumbbells, I would recommend those just to get a nice burn. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 sets of 8 on this. 2 sets on each arm. It's not just one arm. We're gonna do 2 sets on the left arm, 2 sets on the right arm. And you and your partner will be rotating. Once your partner finishes, puts the weight down, then the other partner steps in. And it's okay, like if you feel sore, a nice stretch in between this time, especially since it's probably not your first station. It's gonna be to drag that arm across, really stretch out the tricep. That helps me a lot when I feel pretty sore, like immediately after. Yeah, so that's the tricep kickback. That's what it works. And we're gonna be at this station for 2 minutes also. Okay, now we're at station 5. This is gonna be the bent over row. There's a couple of different variations we can do of this. And this is a pulling motion. The reason we're doing a pulling motion is because every time you push, you also have to add a pull to it. So we pushed with bench, and we also kind of pushed with tricep kickbacks. So now we need a pull. We need to work the interior of our core here. This also, it works your biceps a little bit, pectorals, and it really gets your back. Like on the shoulders back here, this is the main focus of the lift. It's all core centered, if you will. It's not your actual core, but it's in the core of your body. So this really works your shoulder muscles. And now I'll just show you how to do it. If you have a bench, this is one way to do it. This is how I prefer to do it. So if I'm lifting with my right hand, I'm gonna put my left knee on the bench here and keep my other leg straight until I bend down to pick up the weight. We'll keep it bent a little bit. I keep my left hand on the bench for balance. It's okay to be balanced. And now what we'll do is make sure the weight is directly under our chest. And I'm gonna grab the weight here. I'm gonna sit up with it, make sure this arm is locked out so it keeps me in balance. And what I'm gonna do now, pull it up to my chest and really squeeze your back muscles while you're doing this. You'll feel it in your biceps as well as your triceps, but we're going for our back here. Pull it up again. And that's a couple of weights or reps with the bench. Now, if you don't have the bench, we'll walk over here and we're gonna have something to lean on over here. So I'm sure in your weight room you have something to lean on. We'll come over and I'm just gonna put my hand just like this. Keep my left foot forward, the opposite of the hand that you're lifting with. Gonna bend down, keep your knees in line, and you're just gonna do the same thing. Pull up, really squeeze that shoulder. Make sure you feel that burn in your back. And it's a great way to get your back toned and work the biceps, triceps as well.
Go for it.
We're gonna do 2 sets of 8 on each arm. Again, that's 2 sets of 8 on each arm, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on one arm, 8 on the other, and you're done. No, it's 2 on the left, 2 on the right, You'll really feel that burn in the back. And again, we're pulling because we pushed. Always combine the two when you're doing a weight circuit. All right, so our sixth station here, we're almost done. This is the Romanian deadlift, the RDL. We're gonna do it with dumbbells because that's what we have, and this is probably the safest way to do it. And what this is really working is your hamstrings, and it also works your back as well because you wanna come up nice and controlled and engage your core with it. You don't wanna be loose and limp with this. You wanna be kind of stiff so you're not straining anything in the back, but your knees can be slightly bent. So what I'm gonna do, come down, feet are slightly shoulder width apart. I'm gonna pick up my weight, stand up with them. I'm gonna turn them in. This is the pronated grip. This keeps me in balance the most, so I'm gonna do that. And then we're gonna bend down. We're not really gonna bend our knees too much during this motion because we need to work our hamstrings. Try to touch your toes until you feel that pull on your hamstrings. Come back up slowly and pop your hips out. Make sure you squeeze your glutes too. This is a great exercise for your lower body. Feel the strain in your hamstrings. Come up. Keep your back flat. Engage the core at this point. Coming up and extend out. And for this lift, RDLs, we're going to do 2 sets of 10 during this station. Be sure to rotate with your partner once you're done so you're not exhausting yourself. This is all going to start burning at this point. Once you hit your 6th station, you'll really start to feel it, so you want to take care of your bodies, make sure you get that rest time in while your partner lifts.
All right, so for our 7th station, we will be doing core exercises. Your core, your abs, whichever you want to call it. So what we want to do is we want to find a safe space, make sure there's nothing around us. This floor is a padded floor, so if you don't have a padded floor and you have a squishy mat, you can do that as well. Keeps your bum nice and safe, if you want to say. So what we're going to start with is we are going to start with the Russian twist. So there's many ways to do the Russian twist. We will be teaching you to keep your legs straight. So we want to hold them here. We don't want to cross them. We don't want to cross them either or way. So you want to hold your legs out straight. And you can do this with or without weight. I'm going to show you without weight. So what you want to do is you want to lift your legs, engage that core, and you want to twist, touch, twist, touch. So as you can see here, I'm not rocking, I'm staying nice and engaged, my core's engaged, and I'm just going side to side. We will do that for 5 touches each way, so I'll demonstrate again. This will be 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. And then you complete that set. From there, we will transition into a leg lower. So if you have a wall or if you don't have a wall, either way, the wall will help you out a little bit because you can push against it, but if you don't, I'll show that. So what we want to do is we want to lean back, we want to straighten our legs, put your arms out to your side. You don't want them under your butt. If you need to, that would be the accommodation, would be to put your hands underneath your butt so you could pull up. But if you don't, you can leave them extended. So you want to keep your legs nice and straight up. You want to engage the core, keep your back as flat on the ground as you can. So you want to press in and lower that, lower your legs. We'll do this 10 reps, nice and easy, nice and slow and controlled. No reason to rush it. Yeah, and then our 3rd and final core exercise will be the dead bug. So what we want to do here is we want to make sure we have some space behind us as well as in front of us. So usually when you see a dead bug, its legs are up and its arms are up. So kind of the same thing. We're going to be up here and up here. We will be doing this for 5 repetitions each way. So when I extend my left leg, I will extend my right arm. And I will keep my right leg and my left arm in place, and I will come up. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you will repeat with your right leg and your left arm, doing the same fashion. 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you have time at the end of your session, you could do a full dead bug, which will be extension of everything coming up. 1, 2, and challenge yourself for however many as you want. and these really work everything, your core, a lot of your little extensors in your muscles, just to keep everything in line so you're not going crazy, and that'll be your core exercises.
All right, guys, hopefully you're pretty worn out. That circuit's pretty tough. We do it ourselves, and it's not so easy. So we're gonna go over kind of what the stations were and what they worked. The first station we covered was deadlift. The second one was bench, and then we also did bicep curls,
Tricep kickbacks, dumbbell rows, and Romanian deadlifts, and then to finish it up, our core exercises.
We really just wanted to focus on a full body workout. So the deadlifts, we got lower body included, but we also got the core in there. Bench was more of an upper body, pectorals, triceps. Your forearm grip is really good there. You also engage your core with that. Bicep curls, we're working the biceps, we're working our grip, we're keeping our core engaged there.
Going to your triceps, working your tricep, which will help you with your bench press. Then we went into the dumbbell row, which will help your shoulders as well as your back strength. And then we went to the Romanian deadlifts to then again help with your deadlift to target your hamstrings as well as your glutes. And then we finally went into a core exercise, which is good for all around performance. You want to have a good core because that's where it starts as well.
Yeah, so thank you guys for hanging with us. I know this is difficult on video, but we're doing the best we can here. We're still having fun. I hope you are too. I hope you're sweating right now. I hope you're feeling it. It's great to keep you healthy, keep your heart healthy, keep your weight healthy, and it's just all around good for you. So until next time, we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.